everyone. Welcome to today's episode of 10-Minute Marketing. I'm your host, Sonja Crystal Williams. Well, joining me today, I have Ankit or Ankit Patel, and he is a digital marketing, creative solutions, and Bollywood performances are just in his DNA. He is the founder of K3 Marketing. Hey, welcome to the show, Ankit.
Hey, Sonja. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I'm going to just jump right into what K3 Marketing does and just really the topic for today, which is around Google Ads, because you all at K3 are a Google premier provider when it comes to running ad campaigns in Google. You specifically focus on pest control industry. So for you all, just kind of in the world of Google Ads, what are the two of the types of campaigns that you feel like, and I know you're in the pest control industry, and those of you listening, you might be in multiple industries, but a lot to be learned from just hearing Ankit's expertise, even just related to that specific field. So what are some of the types of ads? Because Google has a lot of different types of ads people could run. If someone is in let's just say a service-based industry like that, what are some good types of ads people could run?
Sure. Good question. So essentially, being in the pest control industry or pest control space really means I'm in the home service contractor space. And a lot of the nuances and marketing strategies that you use in the home services space is virtually identical. 9 times out of 10, when a homeowner is looking for something or searching for a service related to their home, for something to be repaired, they're just going to Google it or search it and life goes on. Very rarely are they going on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, seeing what a plumbing company's up to or a pest control company's up to. Right. So in my experience, really just getting the information quickly and effectively is most beneficial. And to answer your question, really search campaigns is the go-to.
Okay. So search campaigns, define that. Some people aren't familiar when they hear the word search. What does that mean versus maybe other types of things Google does?
Sure. So Google is a behemoth of a company, and they offer so many different marketing solutions. Many of you know that Google owns YouTube. So essentially, when you run YouTube ads, those are what you call the video ads within the Google Ads platform. You can also have display ads where, sure, you've been on a blog or on some website and you've seen an ad up there. You can run remarketing campaigns where, you can target people who've already been to your site and retarget them back. There's also shopping campaigns, which comes up on the shopping list up on top. Yep. Search campaigns means people who have searched specifically on google.com. So if you go to google.com and you search, plumber near me or pest control company near me, that's a search, and that search will show you search results listings. And that's really what I manage.
So search is originating at google.com. What about the other search engines, Ankit? Why would someone go to Google Ads versus some of the other ad platforms that exist that could do maybe search type of campaigns?
Well, it's just pure demand. Google is king, and they know it. Very few people are going to Yahoo. I think DuckDuckGo had a little bit of a surge. A few years back. I'm not sure where they are now. I know people like DuckDuckGo because they promise not to track you and collect your data, which is enticing. But really, from my data that I've seen, Microsoft or Yahoo or DuckDuckGo or what have you, Google just dominates, absolutely dominates. Yeah.
Still number one search engine in the world. Absolutely. Yes. All right. So you're going into launch a campaign with a home services type company. What are the typical things that you see when you're going to work with clients that you feel like, here's something they don't have these things when I come to the table, or this is the stuff they need to have, whether they do or don't when you're meeting with them. These are the things that a company needs to have in order to launch into running search campaigns on Google Ads.
I think the important thing to note here as a business owner, especially as a home services business owner, is that you need to be able to track. And truth be told, in my experience, Google Ads is one of the only services, if not possibly the only service, that there's no gray line between how much money you put in and how much money you got out, your ROI. So you need to set up conversion tracking. You need to have separate landing pages or specific landing pages for your different types of campaigns. Call tracking numbers and things like that. So you know exactly what's working and what's not working. a big mistake people make really in any type of campaign, not just in this industry either, is they just run Google ads and send everyone to their homepage. And Facebook ads you're running, you'd have word of mouth marketing, you have SEO, you're not really tracking what's working and what's not working. And Google ads can get expensive. You want to know what clicks are working, which ones are not working, which ads are working, which ones are not working, and things like that. So to be able to optimize, really just setting up overall tracking and some sort of logical structure is crucial.
How should a company determine budget? I know it's a broad question, but
yeah. So
how do you look at it and help them?
Remember, Google primarily makes its income through Google ads. So if you ask Google, how much should I spend? They're going to say a lot.
Yeah.
So I never really look at Google's data.
Recommendation.
I never look at that. I basically get my feet wet. Okay. I'll start off with a reasonable budget and I'll kind of see what's happening. What's my average cost per click? What's my return on investment? Is everything working in the right direction? Because I think most business owners will agree it's all about ROI, right? If I'm making 10x of what I'm spending, I don't care how much I'm spending, I'm making 10x, So it's really a matter of just getting that sweet spot. So I would start off with something somewhat healthy that's comfortable for you, and then really building it from there.
Okay. So a business should really make their own decision, and they might have a budget, and then you might say, hey, that's good starting point, or let's
well, it also adds up. For example, we like to start clients during a free trial period that we offer specifically for our pest control clients at a $2,000 a month minimum. And some, that's fairly reasonable. Some mom and pop pest control companies, they'd be like, well, it's a lot. Well, if you think about it, if you run your ad 24/7, that's only $70 a day.
Yeah.
And if you're getting $7 a click, that's only 10 clicks a day. That's just clicks. That's not leads. So this thing, it can add up fast if you don't know what you're doing. So, but having some sort of healthy budget is going to be crucial if you're going to be running Google ads. Google is king. Google ads is king. Google ads is the first thing you see in a search result, above the map, above the SEO. That's for a reason. So you got to pay to play.
Okay. So I'm going to divert a little just on your opinion of ads versus SEO, because I get this question sometimes when I'm working with clients and them trying to figure out, should I invest more in ads? Should I hire a firm to do my SEO? Do you think these should be done together? Should one take precedent over the other? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Sure. Well, I think if you want immediate results, then paid ads is the way to go. Because again, you pay to play to be up there. I think ideally having a well-structured marketing plan, which includes SEO and pay-per-click, is the best approach. A lot of people skip through the ads because they know that they're paid, especially business owners, right? But majority of the population doesn't even understand how it works. They just click what they see. And also Google's gotten better. First, they used to have a big banner that said, these are ads. Now it's just a small little sponsored section or something. I forgot what it says now, but they keep changing it around to kind of keep one flow of search results. But also keep in mind, a lot of business owners are like, oh, I just skipped that section. I don't want to be on ads. I'm not going to get any clicks. Well, guess what? It's pay per click. So if nobody clicks, you don't pay. So it can't hurt to be up there. It can never hurt to be up there, obviously, unless you're doing it wrong. But yeah.
So you brought up how when those ads pop up on the search engine results page and how that's shifted, I've definitely noticed that. Like, it's one time it was green and it was a little ad box in the corner. Then it said sponsored. I don't know what it says today either, but
I'm about to search it right now, actually.
Right. I don't know. I don't know what it looks like.
It says sponsored. It says
sponsored. Okay. I'm like, and you see it every day, but you don't think about it because it just kind of blends right in, But speaking of the changes that Google keeps making, how, if at all, are some of these technological advances starting to impact campaigns you're running? Simple one being AI, and where that is now fitting in.
AI is a huge initiative with Google. Even if you purchase a new Google Pixel, which is what I have.
Me too.
Okay,
Team
cool.
Android.
Yeah, Team Android all day. Yes. it's heavily integrated with AI and Google's Gemini platform.
Yeah.
And there's no different with Google Ads as well. Now, you have to kind of take that with a grain of salt. Do you just trust Google's AI to just spend all your money and hopefully the leads come in, or do you want to really keep Google on a tight leash? I'm of the opinion of the latter. But Google does have different types of campaigns. It's AI is not a new concept for Google. They used to have those smart campaigns back in the day, if you remember. Now it's really Performance Max campaigns uses a lot of our AI internally. A lot of their bidding strategies, so there's this strategy called target CPA, target cost per acquisition, where I want to try to keep my leads within $50 a lead, for example, my cost per lead at $50 a lead. And Google's going to look at the data. They're going to see what keywords are bringing in those cost per leads, and what time of day are people searching, and what area they're in, and what household income, or what demographic and audience do they fit. It looks at all that data and kind of adjusts and gives you the best results. So those things work well. And they have different types of campaigns as well, such as Performance Max campaigns, which I'm sure we'll probably get into a little bit later if you wanted to. And I think that new one called Demand Gen out there. So that they have different types of campaigns out there that are really just like, hey, just tell me your website and I'll do the rest. And it can work if you know what you're doing. So
I like how you put it. You decide how much you want to keep Google on a leash, because that's the thing with as you brought up earlier, like this is how Google makes money. So you got to be careful I'm with you. Like you got to be careful in what you allow them to do. I think, some of that AI stuff is great and plays a big role, but you got to monitor it. The
way I kind of compartmentalize it is the search campaign or your low funnel. Those are the people who have identified that they want to hire someone for a service.
They're looking for it by typing it in. Okay.
And then the high funnel is really where you can use some of these AI driven campaigns, such as Performance Max, where they haven't really they've identified the issue, but we know that they have a pest control issue that may be interested in pest control services, and we'll just kind of continuously be in their radar. And typically the cost per click between search and Performance Max is huge. I mean, we're talking pennies versus dollars. So
pennies on the Performance Max side because it's more top of funnel.
It's display, it's video, it's random searches that probably don't make sense. Right. Does baking soda get rid of ants? That type of stuff.
I was going to ask you, can you define it a little more, because it's still a new concept. Even when I'm talking to marketing managers and people who manage ad campaigns, some people are a little nervous about dipping their toe in Performance Max. So like, what is it to you? And then elaborate a little bit more on like, when you're setting it up, like how do you make one, I guess, in a sense, effective to some degree?
Yeah. I mean, you essentially just need to have a website or a landing page. So let's just say, for example, let's stick in the realm of pest control. You have a pest control page where you offer your services and you have your pricing and you have your coupon, you have everything you need on that page, maybe some videos explaining your services and whole about us section and whatnot.
Right.
And you essentially give that page to Google on your Performance Max and here's my page. And it will pick the keywords for you. Now you can essentially, put in some headlines and some descriptions and upload some images and things like that. But it will sort of just pick the best. It's kind of like a responsive ad design. And it will just pick the best ad, I guess, variant for that user and that search. And it won't only just be search. It will be over all of Google's ecosystem. Even Gmail ads you could show up there. Remember, Google knows everything about you if you're logged in. So, and if you have a Google Home, you have to say that word. I'm not going to say it right now because mine will trigger. But essentially, you have to, it has to be listening for that to happen. So if you say, if you're talking to I'm talking to my wife saying, honey, we need to update our pest control company. We have some ants. Maybe I may see an ant video ad. You never know. So it kind of all just flows in together. But setting it up, really just having some sort of landing page, giving Google all the information it needs and then just letting it do its thing.
Okay. For the people listening who are into conversions, you brought up conversion tracking earlier and the importance of ROI. How do you look at that? Are there certain metrics that you're tracking when it comes to measuring that? Just what does that look like in your world when you're monitoring that for clients?
Sure. The easiest and the simplest way of doing it, and the most effective way of doing it, is to create landing pages specifically for your Google Ads campaigns. Mm-hmm. So let's say you have different campaigns. Let's take plumbing as an example. You have general plumbing, you have hot water heater, you have drains, you have sewage, you have different types of plumbing services, right? So let's just say drains. You have somebody searching drain related issues. Mm-hmm. So you want a page specifically for drains. And that page is only accessible through a Google Ads click. Okay. Essentially, you tell SEO and everyone to get out. It can be a separate domain, actually. It could be a .net of your domain or a subdomain or whatnot. And on that page that page is only accessible through a Google Ads click. So every visitor you get on that page is essentially from Google Ads, one. And then on that page, you put a call tracking number on there. Okay. We use a third-party tool called Call Tracking Metrics. Mm-hmm. They're pretty good. There's another one out there called Call Rail. Yeah. But essentially, it's pretty easy to set up call tracking number, just a local number that rings directly to your cell phone or your office. Okay. And that's clear. That's like, okay, I spent $2,000 in Google and I got these leads. And I can see how much money that generated, and
you can measure it all. And maybe they've got like Google Analytics or something else attached. And
yes. You want to put Google Analytics on your landing page as well as your website. You also can set up Google conversion tracking within Google Ads. And that's important because Google needs to know what data is working and what's not working. And you can feed that stuff back into Google, and then it will continue to optimize. So that's crucial as well. So, but essentially, in a nutshell, having a separate landing page for Google Ads and having a call tracking number would mean everything is very clear, cut, and dry. Okay.
One more question comes to mind, Ankit, which is for a team that is approaching Google Ads. Well, gosh, this is kind of maybe there's two questions I have, all right, because I want to approach this from beginners and people who are already doing it. So, one team is, I want to try Google Ads. We've been doing other stuff, and now we want to go here. From a staff standpoint, do they need staff? Do they go straight to an agency? Like, who are the players? Like, do they need someone creating video? Do they need someone doing the copywriting? Like, what's needed in terms of how they position themselves to win?
I guess it depends on the industry. Okay. Google Ads, yes, it requires optimization, ongoing optimization, looking at the search terms, looking at the data and things like that. In my world, in the pest control world, it's a lot easier for companies just to hire an agency that's sort of specializes in this space and gets them a good, decent rate. And, it's not too much in terms of optimization. But if I was a salon, for example, then, maybe I want to have different, coupons and specials during certain times of the year and seasonality things and things like that, where I'd be a little bit more involved. But I would say it depends on the industry. Okay. Yeah.
And then second part to that question is, for an organization that's already running ads and they are turning it over to an agency, just from your point of view on the agency side as an agency owner, just if you were to say, this is what I like in working with my client, this is what I want, this is what I hope for, if it were just the perfect or ideal relationship, what do you like to have or see that either they have in place, or how that working relationship would work, even if it's just person to person who you're working with on that team?
Yeah, I guess really this is sort of a general answer for any business owner, but it's important that business owners stay in their lane. I think, I'm not going to tell a pest control owner how to kill a bug. I don't know, or at least what to spray, So in the same sense, I would love for my clients, or I'm sure you would love for your clients, but hey, this is what I do. Give me some time and we'll make it happen. Yeah. Again, my world is a little different because I already have a product that works in the pest control space. So it's just a matter of me making some changes and flipping a switch, and it pretty much works.
Yeah.
But if I was to bring on a new client, then essentially just letting them run their business and letting me understand how essentially their business works in the marketing world and building the campaign accordingly.
Okay. Trust. I mean, trust is important on both sides of the equation.
And again, they are hiring you for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So trust should have already been there, but it happens.
Okay. All right. So, Ankit, thank you so much for just sharing like your insights about Google Ads, how it works, search campaigns specifically. I always like to wrap up this show with a couple of lightning round questions. And the first one, I kind of just want you to talk about this because I am fascinated with it, which is, I don't know if I should call it your hobby, your other business, but your performances. I want you to talk a little bit about that, especially those of you listening in Atlanta. I want you to hear about what else Ankit does as, I don't know, maybe a passion project.
Yeah, it's a passion project that probably takes more time of mine than it should. Mm-hmm. But essentially, long story short, I consider myself, I guess, a professional Indian musician. So I've been playing keys most of my life. And about 12 or 15 years ago, I started a Bollywood band where we would travel all over the nation and sometimes around the world and just playing at Indian weddings. And then about 10 or so years ago, I picked up an instrument, a traditional Indian oboe. It's called a shehnai. So sheh means king and nai means flute. And it's an instrument that's synonymous with Hindu weddings, Indian weddings. So I've created this channel during COVID. I practiced for a good, 5-6 years. And then I finally felt a little comfortable to start performing in the last 2 or 3 years. And during COVID, I started a channel called Shehnai Guy. And it just really kind of took off because it's an ancient instrument that's quite frankly a little bit boring in the Indian community. Very droney, very classical. And I kind of did like a modern take on it and people really appreciated it. And almost every weekend I'm somewhere in the nation playing this instrument at an Indian wedding. Mm-hmm. And then about a year ago or so, I made the decision, I really wanted to sort of bring this instrument and other world musicians together and have some sort of stage and some sort of platform for us to showcase our talent and put on a show. So I started a ensemble called Surya, Surya, Surya Ensemble. We host monthly shows in the city of Atlanta. I have a violin player, a viola player, classical guitarist. I play the shehnai. We have a dancer, and I have this Persian percussionist. So it's a pure East meets West sort of experience. It's a show that I produced. I produced the music, produced the whole concept and things like that. And it's an hour-long show called Elements. At least that's the first debut show where we take you through a journey of the 4 elements of the world, earth, wind, water, and fire, through, music and art and culture and dance and lights and stuff like that, and narration. So yeah, it's a pretty cool concept and something I'm really passionate about and looking to take it to the next level.
It's an experience. You're being modest. No, it's an awesome show, everyone listening. And what I'll do is I'll drop the link to where people can see more about the show and what upcoming events and what dates are coming up, so you can get tickets. So everyone be on the lookout for that. Also,
thank you for coming to one of my first shows as well, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an experience. And also from the Google Ads marketing side of things, K3.marketing. So everyone, will drop the link to that too. If you're in the home services industry, you offer, is it a 1-month trial?
I offer a 1-month free trial for pest control companies. Okay. For other home services, we'll talk if you're interested.
We'll talk. Okay. Pest control is the niche that Ankit focuses on. So everyone be on the lookout for that. Thank you so much, Ankit, for being here today, and look forward to talking to you again. Thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you so much.
All right.